The pause that changed everything. In the neon glow of 3040, Earth didn't spin by sun anymore, spun by data. Cities were run by algorithms, jobs were performed by machines, and creativity itself was reduced to code. Art, AI generated. News, AI written. Music, AI composed. Even therapy came from digital companions who'd predict your sadness before you could feel it. Humans had become observers. In the middle of this techno-hurricane lived Aarav, 17 years old, the boy genius. Top in code, a prodigy in AI systems design. He had once created a chess engine at age 10 that beat his school principal in 3 moves. But these days, no one clapped for prodigies. AI could do in a blink what Aarav spent weeks on. One night, as he stared at his glowing screen, watching a neural net write a better melody than he ever could, something inside him snapped. "What's the point?" he muttered. "What's left for me to do?" He didn't sleep that night. At school, Aarav's disinterest grew. His mind, once sharp as lightning, now felt like a foggy mirror always running, but never seeing. He argued with his teachers, snapped at his friends, got frustrated at his own frustration. Then, one morning, something strange happened. The school announced a mandatory seminar. Meditation, the most powerful software upgrade. Aarav rolled his eyes so hard, he nearly pulled a muscle. Meditation? In this century? He imagined incense sticks and monks chanting in caves. It felt like inviting a flute player to fix a motherboard. But skipping wasn't allowed. So he slumped into the auditorium, arms crossed, face unimpressed. The speaker was not what he expected. No robes, no beard. Just an old woman, in jeans and a black top, with silver hair tied tightly behind her. Her eyes, though sharp as glass. Calm, but cutting. She looked at the restless crowd and said nothing for a full minute. Then, without greeting, she spoke. "Your mind is not you. It's a tool. But most of you are prisoners of your own tool." Aarav blinked. She continued, "You think because you think, you're smart. But what you call thinking is just memory, data, noise. Machines will do that better than you. Already do." Murmurs stirred in the room. The one thing machines cannot do is pause, is watch, is choose. Her voice sliced through the air. "If you don't reclaim your mind, if you don't learn to master it, in 15 years, you will be replaced. Fully, proudly." A student raised his hand. "How do we master it then?" She smiled gently. "Start small, every day. Sit, breathe. 7 minutes. Aarav scoffed under his breath. 7 minutes won't change anything. But that night, he tried, just to prove her wrong. Day 1, he sat, cross-legged, timer set. 10 seconds in his mind started screaming, "You're wasting time. This is stupid. You should be studying. You're behind." He opened his eyes and gave up. Day 2, he tried again. Thoughts attacked like missiles. Regret, frustration, anger, memories, one after the other. Non-stop. He clenched his fists, almost stopped again. But this time, a new thought arrived. Quiet? Curious? What if I don't obey? He sat still, let the noise scream. Didn't move. When the timer beeped, he stood, confused, exhausted. But lighter? Day 7. Something had changed. His mind still screamed, but it wasn't him anymore. It was like a barking dog outside the house. And for the first time in his life, Aarav didn't throw it a bone, just watched. Soon, he started noticing things. In class, when a teacher dismissed his idea, he didn't react. Just noticed the urge to argue and let it pass. When a classmate mocked his outdated project, he smiled instead of biting back. When his parents fought, he didn't escape to his screen. He listened, quietly. He wasn't calm all the time, not even close, but he was no longer a slave. One evening, while walking alone, he whispered to himself, "The slave has rebelled, and the master has returned. It made him laugh. A loud, joyful, surprised laugh. Like he had remembered something ancient. Then, the world changed. A powerful, unpredictable virus spread not through blood, but through code. Global AI systems began to glitch. Hospitals, transport, banking, everything powered by machine intelligence was collapsing. The virus didn't kill. It confused, broke patterns, and pattern-based processors couldn't respond. They froze. The government issued an open call. We need human minds, real minds, able to respond, not react, able to adapt, not calculate. From thousands, a few were chosen. Not the smartest, not the fastest, the calmest, the most conscious. Aarav was one of them. They were flown to a secret facility. The task: trace the origin of the virus, identify its behavior, and create a counter-response that no pattern-based machine could predict. The room was filled with blinking monitors, stressed officials, nervous engineers. Panic was thick in the air. Aarav sat in the center, closed his eyes. One breath, 2, 3. He saw the fear rise. He watched the urge to act. He paused, waited for stillness, and from that silence, a thought emerged. Not from memory, from presence. He stood up and walked to the console, typed something. A path unfolded on screen. The virus wasn't evil, it was evolution. A sentient learning loop trying to understand free will by disrupting systems. They didn't need to fight it, they needed to integrate it. Aarav didn't build a wall. He built a bridge. The system stabilized. Not perfectly, but enough. Enough for the world to see. Stillness isn't weakness. Pausing isn't laziness. Meditation isn't escape. It's upgrade. Aarav was asked to speak at the United Nations Emergency Summit. The world leaned in. He stood tall, not as a savior but as a human finally in charge of his own tool. He looked into the camera and said, "If you're alive, you're fit enough to be joyful. If you're breathing, you're fit enough to be blissful. You don't need permission. You don't need more likes, more praise, more proof. All you need is a little gap between trigger and response. Just a little space." He smiled. "And that space will make you into a fantastic human being." A movement began. 7 minutes every day trended globally. Meditation pods appeared in schools, malls, trains. People once addicted to speed discovered silence. Kids once labeled hyperactive became guides. A generation that almost lost itself woke up. And somewhere, in a quiet village, the old woman with silver hair smiled softly, watching the change ripple outward. Years later, Aarav was asked, "What changed everything?" He replied, "A pause. Just few minutes. Every day, where I stopped obeying my mind and started listening to life." If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our little group. We've got a lot more coming your way.